Cards and Conjure with Mademoiselle Lynna. www.conjuremix.com.
Hello, and thank you all so much for joining me this evening for another episode of Coffee, Cards, and Conjure. Tonight we are going to be talking about energetic cords. Woven into the fabric of your personal energy field, or bubble as we so often call it, are many fibers, threads, and most important, cords of energy. Energetic cords are lines of connection between you and another manifestation of energy. We connect ourselves to people, places, objects, and even beliefs and ideas. When working with energetic cords, we want to identify attachments that deplete our energy. Your energy is your currency with the universe. You attach to and invest in anything that you hold a strong emotion for. That's not to say that daily, mundane things don't yield energetic cords, but these things don't tend to stick. Negative energetic cords are those that essentially deplete your energy. When you attach to something or allow something to attach to you that is not in your best interest, it will drain your vitality. Most of the time, this is happening unconsciously, but with a little dedication, you can begin to perceive these connections. Please don't let this make you feel guilty. We are all multidimensional beings, and we cannot possibly keep up with every facet of our existence. We can only work to be as aware as possible. This is what dictates our energetic story. Your energetic story is a culmination of your thoughts, ideas, and feelings about how you fit into the world and how the world responds to you. Now, here are some signs of negative energetic cords. Suddenly or chronically feeling tired, drained, or fatigued. Insomnia. Sudden burst of anger. Altercations and conflicts. Miscommunications. Physical pain in the body. Depression. Anxiety. Blocks in key areas of your life, just feeling off kilter. Energetic cords can exist for years. Others are created and destroyed moment to moment. Anytime you are making an energetic exchange, you are forming an energetic cord. Simply put, this is the mechanics of energy transfer. Energetic cords are pipelines for communicating back and forth. Cords become negative only when they have outlived their purpose. Now, how do energetic cords form? Imagine opening your front door to welcome a guest and then never securely closing it. After a while, all sorts of things will begin to wander in and out. Before you know it, you will have a guest who has overstayed their welcome and tainted your original hospitality. These types of exchanges are happening daily, in most situations, with most people. You are allowing cords to form, and you are forming cords with other people. The action of connecting energetically is neutral, but the intention is what pushes it from negative to positive. In every moment, you want to feel fluid. When you become stuck, rigid, and unaware, you lose the necessary connection to your energy bodies and your deeper self. This results in energetic blocks, negative cords, and overall depletion. Often you will find a negative cord is forming when you suddenly feel off, or a cord is being fed when you're suddenly in a funk or thinking about or fixating on something. At this moment, you need to become aware of your energy. Pay attention to where you are mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. Bringing your awareness to these three areas will allow you to take ownership of your energy. Begin and end each day by scanning your body. Sense where you are in yourself. Feel your flow of energy. Ask yourself these questions. Am I feeding my spirit? Am I depleting my spirit? Am I being fluid? Am I in the past, the present, or the future? Am I fixated on a person, place, thing, or idea? Am I in pain? Where is my pain located? What does my pain look like, feel like, sound like? Remember that these energetic cords are ways of communicating and sharing energy with the world around you. This is your energetic investment and exchange. You are trading your spiritual currency with whatever or whomever you have chosen to link it to. In doing this, you are either empowering or disempowering yourself. It is essential to ground and center daily. This is especially helpful in high-stress situations or when you are really engrossed in something. Being with people always creates opportunities for energy exchange. When you are in an uninviting place, your essence becomes muddled. So we go back to inner awareness. We question where we are. Then we take ownership of our energy. Ground yourself in the present moment. Ground yourself into the earth and center yourself on your present intention. When you remove an energetic cord, you must also remove the source. If you remove the cord but not the cause, then it will form again. Usually negative cords exist between things that feed our fears and insecurities. Abusive relationships in all their forms are prime contributors to energetic cords. They create a codependency where both parties are feeding off of one another energetically. Parasitic ecosystems come to mind. Removing the source of an energetic cord happens by being honest, pinpointing the source, naming the emotion exchange situation, releasing the want, need, or allowance for the attachment, forgiving everyone involved as much as possible, and sealing and protecting your energy body. Releasing and removing energetic cords can take time. It is a process that should repeat daily. Always check in with yourself. Whenever the dynamic of a relationship changes, pay attention to see what energy is connected with that exchange. Time and distance do not matter with cords, so always reaffirm where you are now. Run your hands through your energy bodies to see what you feel. Scanning your aura through your mind's eye is also helpful. I tend to run a selenite wand through my aura as a way of tuning into its texture and consistency. If you can, pinpoint the cord. Visualize what the cord looks like. Try to imagine or feel the cord's location, consistency, and purpose. Is it thick or thin? Is it rigid, elastic, spongy, or wiry? Does it appear as a certain color? Where is it located? Does it have an image held in it? Why does it exist? Energetic cords are pipelines. They hold energies which carry images and memories. Visualizing the cord can give you clues as to whom or what it is connected to. Sometimes just asking spirit, what is the source of the attachment, will give you answers. Talking out loud to the person or thing the cord is connected to. Just say in your own time and sacred space what you need to say to release this cord. The truth is, most cords exist because we have not acknowledged our relationship or connection to something. Getting it out in the open is the only sure way to release the attachment. Sometimes writing to the source of your energetic cord can offer a chance to acknowledge, forgive, and unplug. Journal about where you are in your life. Drawing attention and creating awareness about the state of your life gives you power. Energetically speaking, you are creating your reality on some level, or at least your relationship to it. You want to consciously manifest the life you want. Mental, emotional work shines light into these areas and empowers you. You may also want to try the following meditation. Now, this is a cord-cutting meditation. Energetically, we are consistently giving and receiving energy. When you make a connection, it is charged with energy that creates an energetic cord. An energetic cord is a vibrational communication line. Cords often outlive their usefulness, leading to energy drain, mood swings, negative thoughts, and overall depletion. Cutting cords calls back your energy so you can regain equilibrium. Find a relaxed position. Inhale deep into your belly. Feel yourself with beautiful white light. Exhale all of the tension. Inhale, feeling your belly rise. And exhale, feeling your belly fall. Like a wave washing over you, you will begin to find your rhythm. Gently scan your body. Become aware of areas in your body that feel off, heavy, painful, or tingling. Trust whatever you feel. Notice what impressions appear. This is an energetic cord no longer serving your highest good. Perceive the cord in whatever way feels appropriate. Does a person, place, or event come into your awareness? Breathe into this cord, filling it with white light and expressing gratitude for its presence. Now clearly affirm in your mind any and all energetic cords and attachments that no longer serve my highest good are cut and cleared from my body, mind, and energy. Cut and clear. Cut and clear. Cut and clear. Breathe light into the void, exhaling any remaining debris. Inhale beautiful white light. It fills you up until it surrounds you as a protective bubble. Exhale naturally, returning your awareness to the present moment. And when you are ready, open your eyes. Wow, that was amazing. I hope that you all are feeling a definite, more positive change. Now, once you've done the work of releasing unnecessary and negative attachments, you should protect yourself. Sealing your aura claims your space and retrieves your power. This ensures that you are fully in charge of what comes and goes in your little inner universe. Since the beginning of time, shadowy figures have loomed and crept through our minds, feeding on our existence and imprinting into our psyche. These creatures of the night embodies our fears of the unknown, the seductive nature of the dark. The vampires of folklore have become nothing more than popular fantasy or some archetypical figure of lust and total loss of control. But what if we told you vampires are real? On a psychic level, we are constantly encountering vampires. These psychic or energy vampires, as we call them, are people who feed off of our energy and essence. Just like the vampires of folklore, psychic vampires stalk you, attach to your aura, and feed off of your essence. As sinister as it sounds, there is no blood involved, and often these feedings happen unbeknownst to the person being drained. Now, what is a psychic vampire? Vampires represent a deeply rooted, very intense, archetypical energy. They are the primal force that lives within each of us that fights for vitality and survival. These shadowy creatures feed on life force, or in most myths, blood, in order to survive. In a way, vampires are lonely creatures trying to fill the empty places of the soul. Now take that into the real world, and we have the outlines of the psychic vampire. Psychic vampires are the very real, active personification of this mythological classic. And just like the vampires of folklore, psychic vampires feed off of your essence and your spiritual energy. The psychic vampire is essentially an energetic parasite. They latch onto and feed from a source. They are usually a person or persons who have a weakened sense of self and a spiritual essence or aura riddled with weak spots and holes. Weakened auras and troubled mental states are invitations for the psychic vampires. In some ways, you must take pity on those who embody the psychic vampire, because it is a lonely reality whenever a person takes on the vampire archetype. They are in a world of darkness, deprivation, and despair. Energetic vampirism is born of a belief that nothing is good in the world and there isn't enough for everyone in the universe. They are cut off from source and feed on others to fill their void. Usually, a person is not aware of feeding off of others' energies. Being a psychic vampire is not usually a conscious effort. Though these people will make radical steps towards twisting, manipulating, and using people on some level, they never really know that they are grasping at a person's life force. We would never say these people are evil. Most psychic vampires are just wounded individuals looking for a way to feel alive. Something within them has been harmed, and in an effort to find some control, they manipulate others. Typically, there is a vampire-victim relationship. In most codependent or abusive connections, there is a vampire-victim element. The vampire is the person who is dominating and controlling. They break down the victim, feeding off of their mental and emotional energy. And on some level, the victim believes they need the vampire, though in actuality, it is the vampire who needs them. As you can see, this is a two-way street. The victim has provided the space for the vampire to feed. Psychic vampires generally come in one of two categories. The first is the manipulator. This is a type of vampire. He is the aggressive one who manipulates and seduces you. Sometimes these types are suave and charming and lure you in like a snake. They take you over and make you feel intoxicated. You desire their presence and on some level their manipulation. In terms of abusive relationships, this is usually the type of psychic vampire we see. Often, these types of vampires are self-centered and narcissistic and love being the center of attention. They literally suck people in and then feed off of their essence. You will find these types in powerful jobs as they seduce their way into circles of people, infiltrating from the ground up. They tend to be authoritative and in some ways invisible to the untrained eye. You may find yourself feeling really enchanted by these types, and though you cannot put your finger on it, something feels wrong about them. They check out on paper, but they just don't make you feel good. The other type of psychic vampire is a martyr. You will find these people always complaining, "Woe is me. The world has done them wrong. No one understands them. No one loves them. And no one cares about their needs." When a martyred vampire enters the room, they literally suck the beauty from it. Any conversation you engage in with them is toxic. You feel drained just by the sound of their voice. Unlike the first type of vampires, they are not charming. It is easy to spot them a mile away, from the storm of complaints around them to the negative verbal diarrhea to their unique way to make everyone feel alienated. Sadly, some people still fall victim to the martyred vampire type because they are so persistent in their delusions that it is easy to be dominated by their view. Sometimes people even give in to these types because it is easier to go with the flow than to fight with them. Usually this happens if they are a family member, especially a parent or child. Now, here are some signs of psychic vampirism. You will experience fatigue and tiredness, strange dreams and insomnia, feelings of abuse from a friend or partner, physical decline in health, mental and emotional pain and struggle, paranoia, confusion, sudden mood swings, memory loss, phantom feelings like cold hand touches you on the shoulder and the base of the spine, or pain for no reason, feeling fearful and afraid for no reason, feelings of being watched, accidents, and clumsiness. These are just a few symptoms of being entangled with a psychic vampire. Now, be discerning when looking at this list. We are in no way advocating that everything is the result of being bitten by a psychic vampire. And this is not meant to create a fearful mentality. We're simply discussing the nature of the energetic exchange that happens between people. If you have felt any of these things, ask yourself, is there anyone in my life who just feels off to me? Am I surrounded by people or a person who makes me feel drained? Am I giving away my power to someone or something? How am I honoring myself right now? You cannot hear this enough. You want to do what feeds your spirit and stop what drains it. When you do depleting things that dishonor your highest good, you create fertile ground for others to creep in and manipulate you. A lack of personal understanding and connection to self makes you vulnerable to these energy suckers. Just like with energetic cords, you are allowing a path of energy exchange to exist that does not feed your spirit. But in this instance, the cord is not a two-way connection. It is a one-way street. The vampire feeds and the victim is depleted. When you are feeling particularly lost, down, insecure, abandoned, and just not very good, you are creating weak spots in your aura. Over time, these can become a hole or a void in which the energy suckers will take up residence. In rare cases, this could lead you to becoming a psychic vampire yourself. Do you remember from the myth that the vampire cannot enter the home unless invited? Well, your spirit, your aura, your energy field is your home, and they cannot enter that sacred space unless you have allowed it on some level. This makes you really want to stop doing things that no longer feed your spirit, right? When you forget your spirit, you are basically putting on a big sign that says, "I'm right," come bite me. Start by claiming your space. Think positive thoughts. Do things that affirm you are present in your body and your spirit. Say affirmations of personal purification and compassion. Say things like, I am loved, healthy, happy, and whole. I am empowered in all areas of my life. I am fulfilling my highest good in every moment of every day in every way that I can. I allow only good forces to enter my life. Each moment, I am in full expression of my infinity and my divine spark. Only good comes into my life, and that good increases in infinite ways. I listen to my spirit, I feed my spirit, and I express my spirit in everything I do. My life is filled with light. Infinite miracles are happening in infinite ways. Now, these affirmations will reclaim your power. Anything that declares your right to your space and your divinity will banish negative influences. You will begin to mend the weak spots in your energy. When you radiate your innate light, you banish shadows. Creatures of shadow like vampires cannot exist in your beautiful light if only you let it shine. Learn to say no. Saying no to things that disempower you will actually close the channels of communication between you and any energy suckers. Often these relationships form out of ambiguity. A boss, a friend, or a partner asks for something from you that doesn't really feed your spirit. Before you know it, you are in too deep to turn back. You are in a full-blown relationship where you are giving away your power freely. But the present moment is always the place of power. You can always say no right now. Keep saying no. Say no mentally. Say no aloud. And when you are in a situation that you cannot avoid, continue to put out no vibes until eventually the influence is eradicated. Now, please, 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 please do not be fearful of psychic vampires. Yes, they are very real, and in our world where people can hide behind the internet and big titles, it is easy to be manipulated. But you are always in power, always beautiful. And sometimes it is a simple act of remembering your beauty that will set you free. Always go back to what empowers you and feeds your spirit. Make sure you are trusting your vibes and honoring your feelings. Avoid doing things that make you feel depleted or drained, especially when you are already feeling vulnerable. Avoid drinking, smoking, and overeating. Avoid casual sexual encounters and social interactions when you are feeling compromised. Anything that takes you out of your mind and takes you out of your spirit leaves you open. Make it your daily effort to build yourself up. Create sacred space to grow and thrive. Before you know it, your whole life will begin to glow and radiate a feeling of universal connection. Now listen, spiritual cleansing is very simple. Many techniques exist for spiritual cleansing. Just use a tool that feels comfortable to you and be consistent with your spiritual cleansing, whatever technique you decide to employ. Spiritual cleansing and protection are not just an act, but a way of life. One ceremony will not make things better, but it will help. Developing a habit will fortify your energy and refine your energetic story. Now, I'm going to be sending you some files of some simple spiritual cleansing techniques, and just try to, choose one and try it out. And if you like it, continue to do it like on a daily, a weekly, or a monthly basis, depending on how much you feel you need it, but make sure that you do it on a like I was saying, on a regular basis. And don't forget to call on your spirit circle for help. Your spirit guides, angels, and all other celestial helpers are always willing to step in on your behalf. They can give you protection and offer insight into whatever you are working on. Like I was saying, do this daily. Create a daily practice of drawing awareness to your energetic state. Paying attention to this idea of energetic cords is only one way of claiming your sacred space. See what works for you. Always, always, always be patient and gentle with yourself. Self-love heals and raises our vibration. I really hope that this has helped some of you and that you will take to heart the things that we've talked about tonight and put these things into action so that you can clear out all the negativity and put a bubble around yourself. Replace that negative energy with positive energy. Next week, we're going to be talking about playing your part in the universe. But right now, I want to go ahead and open up the phone lines and get your thoughts and feelings. How did tonight's discussion make you feel? Do you think these are some ideas that you can put to use? What are your thoughts and feelings? Everybody's being quiet. Do you guys have any thoughts? Did you get the file that I sent? Let me see. I'm going to unmute everyone. I can hear TV on. Marcus or Veronica, what did you guys think?
Honestly, I'm at work and my signal is really bad, so I've been going in and out. I think the most I got out of it, I heard something about a vampire, psychic vampire.
Yes.
Which was really interested to me, but and I think I could kind of relate to that. It was interesting because, I was thinking about where you were saying signs of it was the insomnia, having the life sucked out of you. And I do go through periods where I do feel like that. And as for me, I have a lot that's going on in my life right now. And one of the things that I'm trying to push or trying to get through is I think I'm used to everybody just sucking so much out of me, and I'm trying to get out of that. I think I've relied on so many people to make me happy or trying to define my worth. But I'm starting to realize that I create my own happiness. I can't rely on anybody for that, whether it's my kids, my spouse, or anybody. That's something that I've got to be able to provide myself, if that kind of makes sense. I'm not sure.
It does. It does.
Just trying to get to a better place where I'm loving myself. Because I can't be a friend to anybody. I can't love anybody until I take care of myself, and that's the point that I'm trying to get to right now in my life.
Right. And when you rely on someone else for your happiness, you're making yourself vulnerable, and that's when people can come in and manipulate you.
And that's honestly how I feel, or that's the realization that I'm starting to come to.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just hoping that I'm taking steps in the right direction. They're baby steps, but trying to move myself in the right direction.
Right. Well, that just take the baby steps. I know you've been on almost every single. Well, you have been on every single time. So you know about the meditations and turn around and center yourself, and now you know what to look for and how to scan your body and do cleansing. And so one step at a time.
Okay. Yeah.
And that's okay, to take baby steps. It's okay to do that.
Okay.
Has the power to see. And if you follow his instructions.
Hello, Marissa. I hear your TV.
Oh, sorry.
You're fine. What are you thinking, Marcus? I hear your wheels turning.
Well, it is turning because I've actually studied, I'm not exactly a part of the vampiric tradition, but I have studied literature on psychic vampires.
Uh-huh.
I don't know if you've read any of Michelle Belanger's work, because it's pretty much like the standard for vampiric tradition literature right now. So with psychic vampires, to those who do participate in the vampiric tradition, they actually kind of several types. So what you're referring to as psychic vampires, that's the traditional psychic vampire.
Mm-hmm.
That's one that has the personality or the ability to suck away people's energy just by being around, and of course their actions, their words, and all that other stuff. And they're not as uncommon. But there are other types of vampires called unawakened, and I believe there's the other ones are the ethical psychic vampires, which they know what they are, but they have a degree of control over what they do, and they only really feed on those who would voluntarily give up some of their energy for them.
Oh, okay, I see.
Yeah, and then within that, there's actually like two types. There's the Sang vampires and Psy vampires. So with Sang, you get the traditional blood drinkers, and they're kind of few and far between. But I know there's like they're more uncommon, but I know they exist. And with Psy vampires, that's where you get the traditional psychic vampire, ethical psychic vampire, unawakened vampires, and there are a few subsets as well. There's the ones that feed on people, and then there's the it's a more newer form of the subtype are the elemental vampires, where they feed off of nature.
Mm-hmm.
But most of the times, though, within the vampiric tradition, it doesn't matter if it's a positive energy or negative energy. It's still energy, and it's meant to be taken.
Mm-hmm.
Those who actually do follow the vampiric tradition actually can heal using the techniques that they have by taking away blockages out of people and refining those energies that they take into their own. So it's not just a matter of feeding off of a person, but they can actually start to heal a person by removing things which don't necessarily need to be in the person.
Oh, that's interesting.
Mm-hmm. And if they're really good, they can actually take away negativity in a space if they're really good.
That is very interesting. No, I haven't read any of her stuff. I probably need to.
There's a lot out there, but Michelle Belanger is the standard the go-to for most psychic vampires. She has 2 books out, I believe.
Okay, if you can send me a text with how to spell her last name.
Yeah, sure. I'll just send you the links where her work is. So.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I wanted to do the psychic vampires tonight because my ex-husband is real bad. He's a what do you call it? A sociopath, and he just sucks the life right out of you. I mean, he really does. And so that's kind of what I was referring to tonight, was the people who drain your energy and make you tired, and just, because we're
Mhm.
trying to work on self-empowerment, and it's hard to do that if somebody's just sucking the life out of you constantly. And so you need to learn how to cut that off, or block
Mhm.
those people, or kick their ass to the curb. That's what I had to do with him.
Mhm.
I
And a
still
lot of the
I
times,
still do.
when you're dealing with psychic vampires, like the mundane action of not engaging with them actually is a very good deterrent half the time, since
Mm-hmm.
sometimes, like, because most of their actions are based around what their habits are, right? It's
Right.
not that they know what they're doing. So if you avoid them, not talk to them, um, and if you do interact with them, you keep it short, to the point, that sort of thing, and just don't be around.
Exactly.
It's a really good deterrent.
Yeah, that's
But if you
what
if
I have to
like,
do
but
now.
as with your ex-husband or people who are not in that position, there's lots of ways to cut cords. Um, there's, I believe, I don't know. Do you practice Conjure?
Yes, I do.
You do. Okay, so do you know the one where you use a knife to cut away the energetic threads off you? Do you know that one?
I believe so. I've heard of it. Yes.
Okay, there's that one. There's cleansing baths that you could do, especially the cut and clear.
Uh-huh. Right.
That's a really good
I've done
one.
cut and clears before.
Hmm. And then there are other more creative ones where you can just do the fiery wall of protection. Um, and
I did send that file, and those are some just basic things.
oh yeah, and mirror works work really well against stuff invasion stuff like that. So
Right. That's what I tell a lot of people to do too. Like when they're cleansing their home, is to make sure they put the mirrors in the windows and stuff
oh, I
like.
mean, like mirrors on themselves as a form of protection.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
not just their homes.
I do the ones in the windows for sure. To keep shit out of my house.
Hmm. Mama Star has a pretty good mirror work for one that you can do on yourself to help reflect back negativity. So that's actually a really good one I use.
Oh, okay.
Hmm.
I'll have to ask her about it.
It's in one of her books, actually. I believe it's the old style or working the root. No, hang on. She's got a lot of them.
Yeah, I have most of them, but I
Okay.
usually just go over to her house and sit at the table.
Okay. Oh, you do see her. Okay, cool.
Yeah, she doesn't live far from me. We go over
Mm.
there sometimes. Just
Yeah.
some of the
Uh,
best some of the best learning I've done is just sitting at her kitchen table, to be honest. It really is.
mhm. Yeah. The only reason why I mentioned that is because sometimes those I think they're called like psychic shields or whatever not.
Uh-huh.
Um, if a vampire knows if their psychic vampire knows their way around, they can actually feed off of the shield itself.
Oh, wow.
So you have to be careful of that because you have to know that a psychic shield is energy. And what do vampires eat?
Right.
Energy.
Exactly.
So you just have to be aware of that.
Okay. Well, we got about 8 minutes because I have an appointment at 8 o'clock.
Hmm.
But was there? Oh, I thought somebody just popped in and out. Anything else? We got 8 minutes. Hit me up. Let's talk. The what was I going to say? So, what do you think about the smudging and stuff, and protecting yourself, other than the mirror shield?
The smudging would probably work, but I think you would have to smudge yourself with like a sweet grass right after. Because
Right.
you're smudging with sage, right?
Well, in the file, I mentioned sweetgrass also.
Oh, okay, to smudge right after. Yeah,
Yes.
it works, but again, it's one of those things which aren't permanent, so you have to do constantly.
Right. Which, and that's what I was saying too, is this, you don't do it just one time. You don't cleanse one time. You should do this on a regular basis, depending on how much you're in contact with others, whether it be like, you know, doing readings every day. I have to cleanse every single day. If you're not in contact with people or psychic vampires or whatever every day, then you might only have to do it once a week or once a month, but you need to do it on a regular basis. It's something that's ongoing. It's not penicillin. You don't take 30 pills and call it a day.
Yeah.
You
It
know?
becomes it has to become a lifestyle if you are wanting to protect yourself in that way.
Right. Because once if you stop cleansing, it builds up like plaque,
Mm-hmm.
And when that stuff gets hard,
Yeah, you have to go for more extreme forms of cleansing.
Right. Exactly. Then you have to go pay somebody, a couple $100 to cleanse you or whatever, because smudging and a salt bath is not going to help.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it'll help. Don't get me wrong. It will help. It just won't. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it won't completely cure it. It's just you're only curing the symptoms.
It won't completely cleanse everything. But if you do it on a regular basis, then, it's kind of like getting the oil changed in your car.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't change the oil for 11 months, your check engine light will come on and you're wondering why the hell it's knocking. Your body's the same way. Your soul is the same way.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I will be uploading this to the podcast, and I don't even know what all podcast I'm on. To be honest, I know I'm on Apple Podcast and Spotify and whatever else. I sent out all the links in the newsletter yesterday, but I'm going to upload that here in about an hour and a half, I guess, for those who didn't catch everything or were at work or whatever reason, so you can go back and listen. And those of you who are on Facebook, there is a link in the description box where you can go and sign up to receive the direct link to join in on the Zoom. I'm only taking questions and comments on Zoom. I'm not taking them on Facebook because, well, my Facebook page is not up on screen at the moment. Only Zoom is. I'm not trying to be ugly, just putting it out there. I'm really trying to do it only on Zoom anyway, to be honest.
Out of curiosity's sake, aside from your husband, have you come across other psychic vampires?
From time to time. But I'm the type of person that if I get a bad feeling about you, I wash my hands and walk away, and I won't have anything to do with you.
Okay.
But yeah, there's been more than him.
Okay.
And they try and they get on my nerves, and it gets to a point where it's gotta, you gotta cut them off.
Mm-hmm.
And I have no qualms about cutting people off. I really don't. And it sounds cold, but I don't give a shit who you are. If there's something ugly and I don't like about you, then I ain't got nothing for you. And I know that sounds so country, but I don't know any other way to say it.
Have you come across a really bad case of a victim at the hands of a psychic vampire?
I think I was a bad case with my ex-husband, to be honest, because even like after we separated and was going through divorce, I still didn't know who I was. I mean, I would go to the store and rush back home because I thought I was going to get in trouble, and I thought I had to do everything the way he wanted me to, even though he wasn't there anymore. And I had to get out of that, and it took a long time. It really did. It took years.
That's horrible.
And there are people whose, partners have passed, and they still are stuck in that rut, and it's hard to get out of because you have to, you have to break free. I literally break free, like break the chains. Okay, let me see. I've been having dreams and things in my. Actually, Mariska, right now we are in Mercury retrograde. And so a lot of people have been having dreams about their exes, and Mercury retrograde brings the past back. So I really feel like that's what it is. I don't think that it's anything, I don't think it's a message or that Spirit is trying to tell you anything. I just think it's just that time the past is coming back, your subconscious is coming up. And if he's your ex, they're saying remember why he's your ex in the first place. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. But the good news is Mercury retrograde ends tomorrow. So things will start getting better. So, okay. We have like 1 minute left, so I'm going to go ahead and call it a night because I have that appointment in about 5 minutes and I need to get ready for that. I'm so sorry. Did everybody on Zoom receive the files? I want to make sure you guys get on before I close it out.
How did you send it?
I sent it in the chat. If you scroll up, you can see it right above your message. And I didn't get all of them. I'll try to type those up and maybe send them next week, or I can just send it out in an email to the list. So when I get the rest of them typed up, so I just didn't have a lot of time today. You know, life. But okay, I hope you all have a great week, and we will be back here next week. And I don't remember what I said I was going to talk about next week. What did I say we were? Oh, about intentions. We're going to be talking about intentions. So that one should be a good one. So I love you guys. Bye-bye.
Bye. I really need.
To find out more about Mademoiselle Lynna or to book a reading, please visit us online at www.conjuremits.com. That is CONJUREKNITS.com.